right? We not having that. We want to build a community, forever. Kids win, we win. Period.
Here we back. Classes in session. Welcome everybody to another episode of A.M.University. I'm your host, Antoine Miller. Wayne.
What's good with you?
What's up, Wayne? What episode we on?
21.
You always on point, Wayne. That's why I love you. You always on point.
Yeah, you too.
Andrew Bell.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, brother? Glad to have you on. I know you got a busy schedule with all the things that you got going on. I'm glad you had time to come out and chop it up with us. Before we start, I always I'm a real proponent of giving flowers before somebody is gone, and this man that we got on the show this week, he's been a mentor to a lot of us growing up, and I don't know how many people talk about that. For me, he was a mentor from afar. I played at Morgan Village in middle school, and he coached at Bonsall, but I always looked at the way he went about things and the way he moved as a black man growing up, and I was always appreciative of it. And if y'all don't know, being from the inner city, we don't have many people to look up to, right? So you kind of got to get creative at times, and again, just mimic people, and how they move, and try to put that into your life. And Andrew Bell was a great asset to me, Wayne, and thousands of other kids growing up. So I just want to say that on camera, bro. Like we appreciate all that you done for us, man. And I just want you to know we was watching, bro.
I appreciate
like
that.
we was watching, bro.
Appreciate that.
All right, so we're saying that. Let's talk some basketball. So we grew up in the South Jersey area, right? So obviously, if you grew up in the South Jersey area, being right next to Philadelphia, we was all Sixers fans, obviously, right? So with the current state of the Sixers right now, I always looked at the Sixers after the process. With the current way they are now, the past 5 years, they was always intriguing. They was always interesting. To me, they should have won the last 3 or 4 or 5 championships. I always said that. I said the only people that could get into the Sixers' way is the Sixers. And it's no different from this team. It's been a lot of turnover with the Sixers as far as the coaching staff, as far as the roster. And I basically want to put that to the panel and just ask, are they legit? Are they legit? So I want to start with, let's start with Doc. Let's start with the head, right? It's well documented what we know about Doc as far as his past. I mean, he won a championship in Boston. But after that, it's been a lot of early round KOs for Doc. Early round KOs. And for me personally, it's really hard for me to get past last year with the Clippers. I don't know about y'all. It's really hard for me to get past last year with the Clippers. And let's start with Doc. Do y'all think that was a good hire, or do you still have to wait and see? Because it is still early in the season. So let's start with you. What you think about Doc as far as the hire?
As far as the hire, it was the best hire that they could have hired at the time. The best coach out there. I think he's exactly, at this moment, what this team needs. Now, if you go back to Doc winning with the Celtics in 2008, he really should have won back-to-back titles. If you go back, he should have won when they lost to the Lakers. He should have won back-to-back titles as a coach. So I think Doc might be one of those people that can coach stars, right? So he got that team in 1 year, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and they won. Mm-hmm. Last year, I think the bubble is what ultimately did the Clippers in, was being in that bubble. And I think Doc probably learned a lot of lessons about Kawhi and catering and pandering to one person, and he had a fractured locker room. Mm-hmm. And I think this was an opportunity to get from under that and come to Philadelphia. And he saw that Philadelphia had 2 cornerstone pieces.
Let me ask you real quick about what you just said, though, because it's a reflection of the locker room. So we dealing with NBA. It's not like college and high school, right? So it is different. But I still want to ask this question. Is that a reflection of the coach? Or is it just,
I mean, honestly,
it is what it is because of the NBA?
He allowed it to happen. he allowed that to happen, but doesn't mean that he's not wise enough to say, I'm not gonna let that happen again. Sometimes you got to get a clean slate. You got to start over again. And so he, maybe I'm speculating, he's in a situation like these guys are a little younger. They're not in a position like Kawhi, they haven't won yet. So maybe I can, go back and start over here and not let those things that I let happen in LA happen in Philadelphia. And most coaches know, and the coaching circles know that those kids in Philadelphia had never been coached by Brett Brown on discipline. They hadn't been coached. They hadn't been held to any.
I hope Brett Brown land on his feet and get a nice college job. Like, he need to be with like 19-year-olds, like fresh out of high school. Yeah. Like, he should have never been coaching in the league.
And you said something when you started. You said you think they should have won 4 or 5 titles. They definitively should have won if they had the right coach. Could have won when they had Jimmy Butler that year, when they lost to Toronto in Game 7. That was the time they really could have won with a good season coach. They should have won.
The team was loaded, bro.
Yeah, it was loaded.
A good season coach who was who?
It could have been anybody but Brett Brown at that time. Anybody but Brett Brown. I think he made a couple of moves that made sense, but he couldn't get him over the top. I think it was I was at the game.
Was that the year when we had like Bellinelli and Redick?
Yeah.
Oh my, that team was that was a perfect team for Embiid and Simmons. Oh my.
No, it was actually the next year.
We
still had Redick, but Marco wasn't
you're right.
on that team.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
It was still it's still the Mike Scott and Tobias, but they had a window. It was a game, I want to say Game 5 loss at home against Toronto that turned that series around. They could have put Toronto away, and they didn't.
Had no business Toronto.
Tobias could have been the problem.
In that particular game, if you remember that series, it was like one game Joel had like a stomach. It was actually Embiid is the one I would probably put most of it on. If he was playing like he's playing now in that series, they would have won that game in 5 games.
Easy.
They would have won that series in 5 games.
Easy. You think Tobias is a problem?
No, I think Ben Simmons is the problem.
You know the thing about Ben? He can be the problem and the solution, all in the same breath.
Wait! Before y'all go into that, don't go into that yet. You got anything to say about Doc? How do you feel about Doc?
He cool.
He cool. He could get the job done. That's good enough.
Coach turn.
But hold on. But the thing about Doc too is, I think you got to look at Doc's assistants. I think he got the right assistants.
Hey, you know what's so funny? I think that's what will get him over, and it always has got him over the top. Like Dave Yeager is a monster.
And Dan Burke, indeed.
That made Doc a real good coach, a smart guy.
True.
Because Sam and Ty in LA wasn't doing it.
You had smart guys around you, coach.
Well, who? I had a couple. Maybe.
Oh, time out. You had assistants in middle school?
No. I had one. I had Kareem. I had Reem with me. Reem always helped me out. I had Tremaine Harrison back in the day. I had good guys.
You didn't let me get on my shit. Kareem, DMX.
I still lost to us, bro. Every year. I'm sorry, guys, but
we found out you were gone when we finally beat Morgan Village.
I still lost to us every year.
But you got to listen. Y'all want to go back in history? You got to understand. Bonzo was a team. It wasn't really a traditional middle school.
Listen, man. Listen. All I know is when I walked in the gym, Twiz and Barge was the same size they are now, today.
And they were football players. They weren't no ball players. I turned them into basketball players.
Yeah, you tried. And Wayne just came on because Wayne was a football player. Remember that? Wayne was a football player.
Wayne was a cast-off from East Camden Middle.
Yeah. I never knew that. Him
and
Amir. How about that? So if y'all had one more year, things probably would have been different. But nonetheless, let's get back to it. So y'all, because y'all started talking about the players. So what do y'all think about the current roster that we have right now?
I don't like it.
Why?
Ben Simmons is still there, but we still have time for the deadline. And
What
I say
else
we
you like about
because
the
we right around the corner, so I gotta go with it.
Well, that's one guy. You think that one guy is the
Yeah, I think we can get Dame Lillard and Robert Covington back. Ain't that crazy?
You want Robert Covington back
for Ben Simmons and Shake Milton.
You want Robert Covington back?
Yeah. We need that shooting. Rob Covington can shoot the rock, and he can rebound, and he actually play defense. But we don't really. The way Joel Embiid is playing.
What about the roster though, Wayne? What about everybody though? Like
that's what we need. We need that length from Robert, and Dame Lillard just a dog. Like
you talking about the studs though? because the studs are the studs. It is the NBA, and they are the focal point. But these other guys, if you do it right,
I like
they're
everybody
important.
else. Like,
Yeah.
I really like Shake Milton, but I like Tyrese Maxey better. I'm sorry. He a
That's
rookie.
fine. That's fine.
I like Malik Scott. He a dog. He gonna get 6 fouls. And he
Mike.
just shoot.
Mike
Mike Scott.
Well, first of all, Shake I hate that people talk about the Tyrese Maxey and Shake thing. They the same guy. Like if you lose one of them, it's okay.
No,
in
it's
my
not,
opinion,
because somebody getting paid, somebody not.
I'm letting Maxey go
Somebody
right
getting
now.
delayed.
I'm letting Maxey go right now.
After
If
you
in a
drafted
trade,
him?
absolutely. I'm letting somebody get Maxey right now. What is Maxey's ceiling? I think Shake is a slightly better player than Maxey, and he's more savvy. What is Maxey's ceiling? Can he get that much better?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then you should keep him. I don't think
The thing
so.
about I think I like the way they're currently constructed.
I do
if
too.
people are playing at optimal level, right? So
Ben Simmons, what's optimal level with Ben
but
Simmons?
let me go back to Shake, right? NBA is about production versus value, right? The reason why I'm going to keep Shake is because he's on a 3-year, $4 million deal. And a guy that can, at any given night, sometimes come in off the bench and give you 30
yeah.
or give you 20, and he really is only making $1 million a year. That's value.
That's damn near the minimum.
Yeah, so I'm not too keen on getting rid of him. Now Maxey, for the right deal, I would get rid of Maxey and Thibault for the right deal. It has to be the right deal, not an aging veteran. They need somebody that's going to make this team better. And I think the thing that's going to make this team better actually is they need another bench player. They don't really need
What
another
kind?
starter.
What kind?
They need a stretch four.
Stretch four.
Mike Scott is done. He's done. He's absolutely done. You need somebody that can come off the bench in the 4 spot that can put up a couple threes and that can also rebound and it can defend a little bit. It's not too many people out there. You look at free agents, like I would go get.
Can Tobias be that?
He's your starting stretch four. You need somebody to play behind Tobias. And right now, who is that guy? When Mike Scott's hurt, who is the 4 that comes off the bench?
No, but I asked you that because that's what I thought initially going into the year. I thought like, oh, great. They going to move Tobias to the 4. I mean, and they do it, but it still seemed like.
He's playing the 4 now.
He is.
Pick a 4.
It seemed like he's still
I think
penetrating
put a 4
against
in there.
guards to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I ain't analyzing it right. It still like he not going against 4s. I don't know. Maybe I'm judging it the wrong way.
Well, you got to look at other teams, what they're putting on the floor. They're not in defensively.
They're going smaller.
Tobias is not guarding the 4s. Sometimes it's Ben, depending on who. Like look at the Pistons game the other night. Jeremy Grant, that's Ben's guarding him.
That was a tough loss.
They literally locked them up. They won.
Nah, they got him. Yeah, they talking about Detroit.
Detroit. They locked them
I'm
up.
saying, like, he should have stayed with the Sixers.
Oh, he was a process player.
Nah, hell no.
No?
Yeah, he got better, but no. Yeah,
Him and Richard Holmes
he in the
is
same
cool.
boat as Noel.
If him and Richard Holmes was still there, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Yes,
I
love
I'm
Rashawn
so
Holmes.
mad that he was gone. And they said Brett Brown cheated him like
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah, Brett Brown hated him.
Trash. I never understand it. But I think overall with the current roster, I think the bench is loaded. I think we got a loaded bench. I despise Danny Green to the utmost.
Yeah.
I understand why he here too. Like, it's too many kids. They need a veteran, and he make his couple threes and then he sit down. But nah, man,
He's the guy that's going to get traded. 'cause
He gotta go,
He's got
bro.
an expiring contract at $16 million.
he gotta
He's
go,
the piece.
bro. He gotta go.
He worth about 2 people.
What? How?
16 million? 8
Oh, you talking about money wise, not performance wise.
No, I think. I mean, they keep him. The guy's got 3 titles, and he
He
to
could be
me,
Udonis
he's
Haslem.
awful. Yeah, he's awful watching him play. They are loaded, but they're missing a stretch 4 off the bench. I think Dwight Howard was a great signing, even though half the time I hate the way he plays because he hacks too much. But I think he was a great signing. I think Maxey is good. I
Great.
think the kid Isaiah Joe is good when they get minutes.
It's a big word.
I'm not really.
Tyrese Maxey is good.
I'm not really a big fan of Furkan. I'm not a big fan of Furkan.
Oh, that's his boy, yo.
I
He hate Furkan.
I can't do Furkan. But they need a 4. They need a 4.
All right. So we already alluded to it a little bit, Wayne. So let's elaborate on that. What do we do with Ben Simmons?
Elton Brand. Who else?
Wait. Hold on. Let me wait for a second. Let me.
Man. Who mess with Elton Brand right here?
I don't think he messed with him either. No, he not anymore. Yeah, he done.
No more.
He done. He got the title, but hey, he done. Daryl Morey doing that stuff.
Ben Simmons need to either go to Portland. Right. You need to go to Portland.
But nobody's going. You're not gonna get anything for Ben Simmons right now.
Why not?
You don't think it's some idiots? I just think it's.
I mean, it's idiots, but you're not gonna
idiots.
get Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons.
Why not?
Not gonna do it.
I mean,
Why would Portland do that?
Lillard been in Portland about 8 years and still ain't winning chip. Like I'm sure like
Right.
his owner would be like, you know
Right.
what?
Right.
It's time to break this shit up.
If I was Portland,
I'm hurt right now.
If I was Portland's GM, I would consider it.
Like, why not?
You could consider it, but
And we talked about this all the time.
You're not gonna win no more games with Ben Simmons either.
But we talked about this all the time.
We're not going to definitely win no games with Ben Simmons and
Now don't get me
Joel
wrong.
Embiid.
I take Damian Lillard. Do not get me wrong.
Please, take him.
You would trade him for Ben Simmons if you could
Right now. Because your window with Embiid playing the way he is, your window is like right now.
It'd be
You would have
different,
to.
yo.
Is he good enough?
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Was
Dame.
he good?
Dame.
Dame's never played with a real big. And Embiid's a different big. Like if you get this Embiid, now I know it's
Like,
early
not
season,
Nurkic, like-
and we're
like
not sold on
overseas
Embiid
Embiid.
yet. But if you get this Embiid for any extended period of
He's playing
time,
like a center, yo.
you know, it's tough to see why a combination of like him and Lillard wouldn't be just hell of a guard.
I want to agree with y'all so bad, but it's like
It's not. You don't have enough sample size yet, but just think about it. Think about the way they're using Embiid now, where listen. Somebody's got.
wait, no. Because we're gonna get to Embiid. Stay at Simmons. So y'all telling me that there is no way we could fix this guy? It's nothing
Ben
you can
Simmons-
do if y'all was a coach. If y'all was Sam Cassell in that practice, it's nothing y'all can do to fix this guy in order to be productive and be an asset to this team
Ben Simmons,
instead of
no.
trading him.
Not to me, because we gave him too many years to
I
revive.
said, is there anything you can do if you was in front of
No.
him? There's things I could do.
I think Ben's problem is not always even shooting
No.
the basketball. Like if you watch him, like he doesn't finish at the rim sometimes like he should. He doesn't have a.
He doesn't even try. He
Yeah.
shoots some dumbass hook
Yeah,
shots.
he's like twisting and turning and spinning. So I think his problems
Needs to be
offensively
big.
are all mental, right? And so he needs a psychologist.
Can't
He
fix
doesn't need another trainer. You know, a guy that's 6'10" that's throwing up hook shots, running hook shots, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. But we've seen glimpses of Ben take a game over, and that's what entices you to
frustrating
keep
part.
him,
That's the frustrating part.
right? And so now I think he's like really honing in. Like, listen, I think my offense stinks, so now I'm going to be known as a defensive player. But it's not enough to get
Yeah.
them where they need to go. But he's not. I don't think he's that far off. I think he's got some sort of really a mental block. I think also it's the game is mental, right? Your confidence, it's all mental. But look what he did the other night in Detroit.
Right.
He hit 10 to 12 free throws. The night before that, he scored 11 points in the fourth quarter. You know, maybe he's getting ready to turn the corner.
So that goes back to my original thought. If let's say he did, hypothetically, let's say he did turn the corner, right? Is that Ben Simmons that turned the corner better than anybody that you want to bring in?
Dame Lillard is better than Ben Simmons. Right?
He's not. If he does that, you can't. And I swear it's the most horrible way of thinking, but this is the NBA. You play the games off of you draft who you draft. You play your players off of potential. It is what it is. You play your players off of potential.
Right.
It's not 5 guys in this NBA that has the physical ability he has.
Who is
One of them being Embiid. Yeah. You name 5 that has the physical ability that he has. You can't do it.
LeBron, Antetokounmpo,
Giannis.
Kyrie Irving,
This guy, man. Are you serious, bro?
Kevin Durant.
Are you serious, bro?
And, either you want to do DeAndre Ayton or John Wall. Whoever the fuck you want. Fuck. It's 5.
They have DeAndre Ayton, John Wall, and Kyrie Irving has the physical ability Ben Simmons has. Scientifically, that's not possible.
No, scientifically, that's where it would help me at, because you gotta go for his 7 foot to Kyrie back down to 6'2". So you gotta do the extension and all that crap. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Remember how they used to do the scientific facts on ESPN, and they'd be like, Allen Iverson is better than
Wayne.
Kobe Bryant because when
He's
Allen
a bigger-
Iverson do a crossover, he does it 1.5 seconds faster.
Ben
than
Simmons
Kobe
is a
Bryant,
bigger-
'cause Kobe Bryant got to step one foot over that way.
Ben Simmons is a bigger Antetokounmpo, if he wanted to be.
Ben Simmons-
But his mind is getting in the way.
Antetokounmpo is not even really that good, but he's better than Ben Simmons
Why?
because he can shoot a little bit more. A
No.
little bit more.
No.
Did you just say he was not that good?
Yeah, but Antetokounmpo is not that good because he should be. It should be every year. It should be LeBron versus Antetokounmpo because it should be the same people. It should be the same thing going on. Whatever LeBron doing, Antetokounmpo should be able to do.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to say he's not that good. I mean, he's not. He may not be elite enough.
He's
to
not
win a
better than
championship.
James Harden. He's not better than Kevin Durant. He's not better than Steph Curry. He's not better than Kyrie.
So why? But
Irving.
why would you say he's better than James Harden?
He's not better than James Harden
Well, why would you say that?
because James Harden damn near was like number 1 or number 2 in the West. And
It didn't know damn near was he or wasn't he?
I don't remember. I don't know his record. I don't really like James Harden as like a. He's not. One
You
of my
brought him up.
favorites. I mean because
At
he's,
that,
he's
is
a
that
hot topic.
what I'm saying? At that
Not
elite
shit.
level, Wayne, James Harden and Antetokounmpo, they might as well be the same player because they haven't won. They might as well be the same people, right? In a different package.
Well, LeBron and Antetokounmpo.
No, LeBron,
No, James Harden.
James Harden
and Giannis.
They're the same person.
they're
Just
not
fact
the
they
same
haven't
person.
won.
No, Allen Iverson and James Harden is the same person. Different
I'm talking
package.
about winning, right? You say he's not better. You talking about? I'm talking about winning. Like
Right.
Antetokounmpo and LeBron James is the same person, different package.
Say that again.
LeBron James, the GOAT, is the same person. Well, Giannis is the same person as LeBron, the GOAT. Different package.
he might have the same. He might.
Giannis
mirror
just doesn't
some
have
skill
wiggle.
set.
Giannis doesn't have wiggle.
LeBron
Let's get down to the individual
LeBron
thing
don't
about. Yeah, he does.
He
LeBron
doesn't.
got enough.
He doesn't.
He just 6'8" doing it. It doesn't look sexy. LeBron has wiggle.
No, they don't.
All right. You made me lose track of what I was saying. We was talking about Ben Simmons, bro.
Remember
We got
he
all the way to
He
Giannis.
fell against Maurice Rice. Remember when he gets the real wiggle? Remember?
What that got to do with his wiggle with the ball?
Wiggle came from the tri-state. It didn't come from the Midwest.
Wiggle comes from your jeans, bro.
Yeah, it come where you from, tri-state. We do it over there.
Wayne, it's somebody in North Dakota with wiggle, bro.
No, it's not. Name him. Jason Williams from West Virginia. That's close, but that's still tri-state damn near.
Let's go to the next, cause this
Alright.
Joel
Alright.
Embiid has wiggle. He ain't from those tri-state.
Joel Embiid different.
Joel Embiid has wiggle.
We don't need his
He did a move the other day
Ben
that
Simmons don't.
no, but he don't have to,
Bum.
and that's my point. He don't have to.
Tyrese Maxey though.
He don't have to. I can't believe you compare him to Kyrie Irving.
Who? Kyrie Irving is better than
Physically.
Kevin Durant. I keep telling you that.
Oh, did you watch the last episode when he said that?
Kyrie Irving is what?
Better than Kevin Durant at 7 foot. Put Kevin.
Yeah, you
put
gotta think
Kyrie
about what he
Irving
just
at
said.
7 foot,
Right.
and
that,
then
that threw me
same
off
skill
last
sets,
time.
and then throw him out there.
Like that's even realistic. That can't really
That's
happen.
what I'm saying. So that's the only reason why Kevin Durant.
So you gonna build a team? You gonna take Kyrie before you take Kevin
I
Durant?
take LeBron.
No, I ain't asked you that. I say between Kyrie and Kevin Durant.
Who my center? He's give me a center. Give me somebody. Give me another player. Cause this is a point guard now.
Kyrie like top 3 or top 2 in the world to you, huh?
Well, you gotta think.
In basketball,
Wayne,
yeah.
Yes.
Somebody who dribbles the air out the ball and shoots.
It makes that. You know what? Yup. That make perfect sense. If he 1 or 2 or 3 in the world to you, then why you need a center?
Oh, cause you need that. That's what you got to do.
When
What do you love about Kyrie?
He can do everything. Nothing. He
That's
can't
not
do.
an answer because that's not true.
What can't he do on the basketball court?
I show you every day. I send things to you every day. He can't defend us. He can't defend the soul.
can't play defense.
And even worse,
wanna play defense.
he has no concept. None of them on the Nets have no concept of team defense at all.
Even Kevin Durant.
They have none at all.
Kevin Durant was
As far as what
supposed to be
rotations
a
mean.
defender player sometime. They said he.
But what James Harden said the other day, right? He said, we grown men now. We ain't in OKC no more. We ain't babies. We grown. You still don't understand the concept of defense at all, including your boy. So how you the best and you can't even do
I
that?
seen the clip of James Harden run out of bounds and then didn't even look back and slap the ball out of somebody's hand.
So you don't care about defense. That's what that's what I'm gaining out of this. You don't
That
care.
unbelievable.
You don't care about defense at all.
You see that clip, right?
You don't care about
He
defense
was
at
running
all.
out of bounds, looking over there, and he was like,
And that's
ball
kind of
hit.
and that's kind of my reason with
Went
Ben
off his
Simmons
knee.
too. I forgot about that. That's kind of my reason with Ben Simmons. He's a problem defensively if he want to be. He's a problem, a real legit problem guarding 1 through 5. But you don't care about that, right?
yo, he's not good. Like, I don't understand. What's the hype about this guy, yo?
It's the NBA,
He-
bro. You
Honestly,
can't.
if you put Mike Beasley at the point guard of the Philadelphia Sixers, it'd be the same thing.
This ain't Kansas
It
State,
might be
bro. This
better.
ain't Kansas State. Michael Beasley.
Yes.
At this point, who's got the bigger upside, him or Ingram? If you had to redraft and what you know now about both players, who would you take?
It was the same. Well, it was the same. It was the same when they was drafted. No, Ingram is at his ceiling. He gonna average 25, 23, 22 points a game the rest of his life. That's what he gonna do.
And what's Embiid gonna do? 15?
No, Simmons. He might average 9, but he might destroy the league like he supposed to, and nobody could stop him from getting the basket at 6'11". Either way. Either way, you take you got to take the potential all the time. Who was the guards that we had at we could have drafted Drew Holiday or Ty Lawson. Remember that?
Oh, you talking about that?
Well, we did draft Holiday, right?
Yeah, right. But they really thought about Ty Lawson. He killed at North Carolina, and he was solid. You knew exactly what you was getting when Ty Lawson came to the league. We drafted for potential. It just happened that we got on the good side of potential. That's what you do. You don't draft a steady guy that's solid. Ty Lawson was solid, and he had a solid NBA career. Drew Holiday could have possibly been special, and he showed signs of special. That's what the NBA is about, Wayne.
So let me ask you a question, Twan. So what do you do now with Ben Simmons? What is this? Year 5? Year 4?
Yeah.
Year 5. Now what? You can't. Once you get that second max contract, we're not paying you for potential no more. We're paying you for production. So now, is this a make or break year?
Yeah. I'm starting to give I'm starting to give ultimatums like those. I just for the sake of his own sanity, when he drives the lane and he's like 3 feet away from the basket and he pass it out 30 feet away from the basket,
It spins around.
if I was a coach right now, I'd probably tell him you can't do it. Even if, because sometimes it is the right thing, but most times it's not. I would like, you can't pass it out. You have to lay it up.
To me,
Like things like that.
does his game look less fluid than it did 2 years ago?
He's
Offensively.
he's losing less confidence every day.
He got hurt.
He's losing less confidence, and he's not comfortable anymore because Brett Brown's staff isn't there.
Right.
Like I swear, I wish I could be a fly on the wall and listen to like Sam Cassell or something in them
Oh,
practices.
listen, you know he's digging into him.
Like, it's different, bro.
What if he not?
Huh?
What if he not?
What?
Oh, he is though. You know, them
Sam?
old school dudes like Sam and
You like, watch the games, bro. Like,
watch him on the sideline.
Look how he act on the sideline.
You
be
got
snapping.
think about it. You got Sam and Doc. You got 2 former NBA point guards. You know who are like, you know, people. I grew up watching Doc Rivers back then. I'm that old. You know, I remember Doc when he played in Atlanta and New York. But Doc was tough. He was tough, man. He played with Dominique. He played on those teams. You know, played a little bit with Pat and them. Like Doc was really a tough player. So imagine trying to, you know, be the point guard on a team with Doc Rivers and Sam Cassell, who played with Olajuwon, who played on that team, even though he wasn't doing much. He played on that Celtics team that won a championship. Like, imagine those guys coaching you. He played with, you know, Sam played with Kevin Garnett, played with a lot of great players, and was actually the point guard, the facilitator on those teams. And Sam wasn't athletic, but he could get you 15 a night.
He got anywhere he wanted to get on the court, though. He got anywhere he wanted to get on the court. So me, it is. It's the whole psychology game for me. Like, it's hard to talk about that right now. Like, you got to figure out who Ben Simmons is and how to poke at his buttons or whatever like that. I don't know, but it would be things like that for me. Like, or you sitting at things like that. I think a person like Ben Simmons that mess with a Jenner or something like that, I think he got benched. I think that would mess with his pride, right? I think you can get to him in that way.
And what struggle has he been through?
Right.
He didn't get nothing from the mud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you think about that type of player, growing up in Australia.
Right.
You know, everything's been handed to you. You've been catered to
LSU.
from.
I'm shocked Kevin Boyle ain't fix him too. Out Malverde.
LSU.
That shocked me too. Kevin Boyle, he was at St. Pat's. Remember Kevin Boyle when he was at St. Pat's?
I remember Kevin Boyle.
I'm shocked that you ain't fix him and you just let him be great in high school. But that's
But
another
that's
thing.
what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. But Sam Cassell might be doing the same thing. They might not be
Maybe.
talking to.
So let me ask you. So Tony, we get to the end of the year, and you don't win the chip. You get booted in the second round again, and the deal's on the table for Ben. You trade him?
What, after this year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause I know you love Ben. We've talked about this before. And
I love greatness. I love potential for greatness. And I again, I don't want to think this way, but you got to be able to adapt as a coach, right? That's how you win in the NBA. I don't want to agree with it. I think the most solid guys that want to go the hardest and do things right, they should win NBA championships. But that's not the NBA. Like, that's not how it works, right? You can try it, but that's not how it works, right? You need superstars. People that can do things we've never seen in the history. Remember this episode about levels of talent? It's levels of talent in the NBA too. I told you that. That system superstar, whatever you wanted to call it, it's 2 more notches above that. And it's only a couple people that's like that. LeBron can turn it off and turn it on when he want. Embiid can turn it on and turn it off when he want. Durant. That's what?
Kyrie.
Wayne,
He's showing you that he can do it. Like, look
the
what
last
he
2
did.
years, people are done with Kyrie. You can't.
Wayne.
But look what he's have done.
And I'm not a numbers guy, bro, but just look at his track record, bro. They 1-2 so far in Brooklyn. He never made the playoffs, let alone won a championship before LeBron got there. He went to Boston, who has an amazing system. Boston has an amazing system.
Dwayne Wade didn't win a championship without a superstar on his team. Shaq and LeBron.
Who?
Now you can't really believe that Wade won because Shaq was there. Shaq was on the decline.
Wow, bro.
Like, if it wasn't for Wade, they would have never won.
Did you see what he
Shaq
did?
put him in first place to beat the shit out of Atlanta in the first round. And then the second round they win
That
against.
Atlanta team was fugazi.
I mean, Joe Johnson was coming into his
Forget
own.
that. You saw what he did single-handedly against Dallas.
Horford.
You remember that?
I mean, yeah.
Let's go on. So, what y'all think about Joel's progression as far as this season? I know it's early or whatever like that, but do y'all think it's sustainable, like the way that he's playing?
I think so.
I think it's sustainable. You know my crazy philosophy why Joel's playing so well. You could probably get with this. It's a father, maturity level. Fatherhood changes you. You see everything differently.
I never thought about that.
I think Doc, of course, is like the thing. Like, they put him on a diet. They told him he's got to get in condition, and they probably didn't play around with him. They shown him on film how to get to the basket when he makes quick moves. If you notice now, when he catches the ball, he's catching in the middle of the floor foul line, where he can see the double coming from both ways, so he can spin. He's not in that corner anymore. Like so coaching. Great players need assistance, right? So like a guy like Embiid, he's going to be a great player, but if you get the right coaching around him, he's going to go to another level. But think about the things off the court, right? The dude having a child. Like, for me, when I had my first child, like, I worked in education as a teacher, I saw every kid differently. I saw everything differently once I saw that baby, that was my baby.
Wow.
So I think Joel's maturing, and he's got the right people helping him, right? Everything is like aligning together. Like, you get the right coaches around you, the right system, you start to mature as a man, and everything is good for him. And now he can see the floor. He's got shooters around him. Last year, that team had no shooters. You in the post, right? You turn and look, and you're looking at Ben Simmons, and you're looking at Al Horford to throw out of a double team. You got to be kidding me. He looks now, you got Seth Curry, who I think has only missed 2 shots all year, right? You got even Shake when he's off the bench. You know
Steph rocking, bro. Steph rocking.
And you look and you got guys, even the young kids that were coming in was making baskets, like Isaiah Joe. I like Isaiah Joe, and y'all should really watch this kid. He can really shoot the rock.
Yeah, I gotta see more.
I think Maxi's nice. He's not a shooter. Maxi's the guy that comes in and can get to the rim and put the floaters up. And I think people will fall in love with his potential when they saw that game in Denver. Nice game for a rookie, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's one game.
Yeah.
I was in LA when Shake dropped 39 on Clippers. I was sitting on the second row.
He was there.
I was there. But I also seen Shake, come to the playoffs and take a dump in his pants during playoff time. He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. But Embiid, I think Embiid is what we've always. You talk about the potential with Ben. Embiid is doing what we always knew he could do, and what we thought he can do. I remember watching Embiid play. I think it was I want to say 2017. They were playing Toronto. He still didn't make the playoffs that year, but it was one of the few games that he played. And I watched that game, and I was like, "Yo, this dude is going to be a problem."
He could be the best player in the world.
Yeah, he's going to be a complete problem. What big, at that can handle the rock like that, can shoot, and his footwork. He falls all the time, but his footwork offensively.
It shouldn't happen. You
his
should not be able to do
crazy.
Euro steps at 7'2". You just shouldn't. Your body shouldn't be able to torque like it does with him, bro.
Somebody in his
If I had one knock on him,
no-
I want him to rip the rim off sometimes and take people with him. But he doesn't have great lift off the floor. People don't realize he doesn't have quick hops, doesn't have great lift. But he's an excellent. When he really dials down on defense, you're not gonna get no legs.
I think Dwight Howard has made a tremendous impact. Well, I think that's the best signing because of what he's affected with
He gotta
Embiid.
deal with that every practice.
Right.
Yeah. And they wrote.
Right.
He said in an article. He said Dwight Howard's one of the best teammates he ever had.
Right. And he gonna be annoying. And it's like, all right, I really gotta, I have to work because this dude is like a bug in my ear all the time. Like, and it's so funny, his transformation. Like from Orlando, I hated Dwight. He was potentially, remember we saw him in high school? I've never saw
Took over the whole elevator. Yeah?
I've never saw a pair of shoulders on a man in my life, ever. And we was 16, 17 years old. We was at the primetime shootout in Trenton. And it was like hangers. Like he was so broad, bro, and we didn't play them right. He
lost to Sebastian on a step back three.
Yeah, he was so athletic, and even in the league, and he just played around with it.
We beat Derek
But you
Carter.
gotta think about it. Think about
They was watching our game. We beat Derek Carter,
Carter.
#1 player in the nation at that time.
Think about when if I'm Embiid and I'm thinking about who is backing me up. Embiid was it Mount Verdi in Florida? Was it
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Dwight Howard was tearing up the league. He was probably the top 5 player in the league in Orlando. So you got to think like full circle. Now this guy is my teammate and my mentor. I've watched it. This guy's Superman. That people forget.
You don't forget
about
that.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard used to kill the league.
Yeah.
Back in the day. But like he had a 5 or 6 year run in Orlando. He was literally killing the league. And now this guy's my teammate, and he's trying to hang on. Like Dwight knows. Dwight, like these superstars, got to be smart. Like Allen Iverson wasn't smart because he didn't want to move to that bench role, and know that the next part of his career could have been extended if he would just accept this role. Dwight is now saying, "I'm not a starting center no more. I can make $2, $3, $4 million a year. All I got to do for the next 4 or 5 years is sit behind this big guy and play 18 minutes a game and come and use my 6 fouls."
That's it.
You got to think about all the NBA people that don't understand that transition.
That's
right?
it.
My role now is
Different makeup though. The makeup that Allen Iverson had is not the same makeup as the Dwight Howard had. That's why they had 2 different careers.
Yeah,
Even though
that don't make it right.
Though Allen Iverson's career was cut short, he still is a way better player than Dwight Howard.
That's
his makeup.
That's pride though, Wayne.
But half of his makeup was the reason why his career got cut short. So we can't just hit it like that. But if Dwight Howard had Allen Iverson's makeup,
well, of course, I mean that's obvious. But
Dwight Howard.
the thing about it, Dwight Howard was smart enough to realize that he kept himself in. Dwight Howard still looks like he could tear somebody's head off.
Yeah.
So he kept himself in physical condition. So when his athleticism declined, he could still go out and throw it to the rim. He could still go get it.
Yeah.
He could still rebound and he could still defend.
Still run up and down.
And he will put them elbows on somebody. Magic hit. Like you watch him in the post.
He's physical.
People don't want to bang with that.
Yeah,
These young kids that come in within 30 seconds of playing Dwight Howard, they on the floor. They on the floor.
He's physical.
Yeah.
He ain't be dead serious.
So real quick, are the Sixers contenders?
Yes.
Legit contenders.
Yes. They almost did it with Ben Simmons' butt ass.
I'm gonna hold off on that right now because I think the
We got
record.
the MVP.
It's early right
second
now.
MVP.
It's early. It's too early.
Still first MVP.
They're a playoff team, but right now, if everybody in the East is at full strength, I still would question whether they're better than Miami, whether they're going to be better than Boston at full strength.
Yes.
And I actually think they can beat Brooklyn, but if that team gets any semblance of defense offensively, I don't know how you outscore them. So
how do you say we gonna be better? We could be better than
Boston, Miami.
Brooklyn, but then question Boston
Because Brooklyn doesn't
Boston
play
and
defense.
Miami.
Brooklyn doesn't play defense.
Styles make fights, Wayne.
And yeah, they beat Miami on the
Styles
back-to-back.
make fights.
They beat Boston on the back-to-back. But that's a Miami team without Jimmy Butler. That's a Boston team without Jason Tatum.
You going against them 6 games in a row, 7 games in a row.
Styles make fights, Wayne.
Yeah, I mean,
Styles make fights.
playoff is like half-court basketball, which they got the ISO guys that can do it. They don't have a deep bench anymore. I think the biggest piece that they gave away was Jared Allen. It was just, I think, the dumbest thing they could have ever done. They should got rid of, they could have got rid
Spencer
of.
and everybody, Carl, Karras,
Spencer hurt.
I mean, it's just get rid Joe Harris. Get rid of him, but not him, not Jared. Yo.
Nah, Spencer that.
That's
Spencer
why
that dude.
Jared came back and whooped they ass.
I-
Like he did, but
Wait, so you said the Sixers are legit contenders. You said that with confidence.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they did it years ago against Toronto, except the ball rolled around.
That's a
the rim.
different
It's a
team.
total different team, Wayne.
How?
Everybody different.
Jimmy Butler didn't do was really good. He hit a couple buzzer beaters, little step backs during
Man, are you
the
done? Are
season.
you serious?
You know how hard that is to do? He was a closer,
JJ Redick could do the
which
same
we don't
thing.
have right now.
JJ Redick could do the same thing.
We don't have a closer right now. Or
Joel
we don't have,
Embiid.
or we don't. No, we hope,
Joel
we hope Joel is that.
He can do it. He can do a fall away.
My only two caveats is we don't. It's gonna be hard. Playoffs is half court basketball. It ain't up and down.
Joel Embiid could be like a heavier Olajuwon, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Joel could be the best player in the world ever.
No,
Ever.
a heavier.
If he wanted to be.
A heavier Hakeem Olajuwon.
So forget center.
He had Robert Horry.
He could be Shaq and Olajuwon if he wanted
had,
to.
What's the boy name? I see his face, brown skin.
Don't matter who Olajuwon had. Olajuwon
No,
was that
I'm
guy.
saying he had Vernon Maxwell. He had Sam Cassell.
They was loaded though too.
Who was that?
Kenny Smith coming off
four.
the bench.
No, who was that
Otis
for though?
Thorpe.
Otis Thorpe.
Yeah.
Otis Thorpe. That brown skin Otis Thorpe. That's who Hakeem had. Now look who Joel Embiid got. Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris.
Joel Embiid is better.
The names even kind of even sound the same.
Joel Embiid is better, but my only thing about this team is again the half court. He could be physically.
No, we're
physically.
not talking about could.
Oh, now we're not talking about could. You just compare Kyrie to Durant if Kyrie was 7 foot. But all right, I'll leave it alone. You're right. We can't talk about could. My only two things about this team is again scoring in the half court because you do have to be able to isolate as far as basketball, and I guess we praying that Maxey and Shake could be those guys because if Doc and Doc started the season posting Embiid in the middle, which you can't double, but now he's back to the block. I don't like that because that's easy to guard, Doc. You can double team that very easily with backside help. So I pray that you start putting them over top of the rim like you did previously. That along with the pick and roll coverage. Embiid's still playing in drop, bro. He's still playing drop coverage.
I think Embiid is really moody, right? I think if you don't get him involved quickly, and he's very temperamental. When he wants to play D, he can drop, he can go out and guard anybody on the floor.
I gotta see him do a different coverage because I know Brad Stevens is going just with Jason Tatum. You keep dropping, okay.
But with that, when y'all say put Joel Embiid at the top of the free throw line,
Offensively,
how you creating the space, the narrow the space of this big 6'10" and this big 6'9" Tobias and Ben Simmons to cut down like him at the block. Then you got Tobias can stretch out for the three. Then you got Ben Simmons can cut hard.
who's at the block, or is he at the block or the elbow?
If you put Joel Embiid at the block, it's a
Yeah.
better cut for Ben Simmons, and Tobias can spread out for the three. But if you put him at the top of the little foul line, right in that little half circle, you just creating like a. You ain't creating no passing.
If you put him on the block, the first thing I'm gonna do as opposing coaches, as soon as he catches that ball, double team it from the blind side, he doesn't see it coming. So now he's got to spin and pivot, offensive fouls, trying to throw out that double team, and every now and again he's gonna throw a cross court pass, which could get picked off. You put him at the top, he can turn. Right, the teams have to play him because you can't turn and light off the ball.
You said if you put him at the block, they can double team him real quick
from
on
the blind side. Yeah, very quickly.
Very quickly. Okay, all right. You can do that. Boom, go ahead.
But if he catches the ball at the top, right, he can turn defender has to play him because he's gonna keep shooting that jump shot. If you don't watch him shoot a mid-range 15, 16-foot jump shot, he's gonna make that every day. So you got to come up on him. He can dribble past you, or if you want to send a double, now he can look. He's 7'2". He can look over top of the double in the middle of the floor, and now we got shooters. So even I don't like Danny Green, but he will knock down He will knock down some shots every now and again. Seth Curry is going to knock down some shots. Tobias can knock down an open shot. So now you got shooters surrounding him. I think he gets limited because he doesn't move fast on the block. Like sometimes you get on the block and he's trying to crab walk a guy from 25 feet out in the basket. I don't think that's really good offense half the time.
Well, I think Joel Embiid get limited because he got his butt-ass point guard sitting at the top of the key like he can shoot a jumper instead of cutting like he used to do in the beginning when he first started playing for the Sixers. He used to cut, he used to have good hands, good soft hands, catch the ball, go up and get fouled. And we used to didn't care because he couldn't shoot because he used to get people in foul trouble. He used to go to the line, miss, but you knew he could count on him going to the hole, getting fouled, and we used to count on that because we knew people growing up back in the day. We just counted on them just going to the hole, getting fouled. I had a point guard. We used to count on him just going to the hole, getting fouled because we knew he couldn't shoot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The thing with Ben Simmons though, I think people get caught up on his shooting, and right now it's not his shooting. Is when he gets in a dunker spot, he still struggles even in the post to generate offense. His offense is either moving downhill and somebody's, every time he comes downhill, I think it's a charge, right? No.
Who goes downhill? Ben Simmons?
When he's on the break, if you watch every game, he gets at least one charge call because he's out of control.
But he's
downhill.
In his best dimension going downhill, though. Correct?
He is, right? He is in his best. When he's in the open floor moving, a 6'10" guy moving like that.
It's tough.
But what happens is he's lacking touch around the basket. Like you moving down the floor like that.
That's why we gotta stop talking about him taking up for him. That's it. That's a wrap. He got everything to get to it. He just can't do it.
We could talk about this forever.
He can't do it.
We could talk about this forever.
Coach said it. He go to the best. Sometimes he don't just touch at the rim.
You think the Sixers contenders?
But they are
you gotta wait.
Title contenders. Not right
Joel.
now. I'm gonna hold off. I don't think they're contenders right now. I think it's early in the season. I think they're a playoff team. I think they're a 4th seed right now. Even though they're sitting at the top, I think eventually they'll probably be a 3rd or 4th seed at best. But I just don't. I don't know. I'm not convinced yet.
Yes.
Oh, I think I was confident.
Yes. Look at the East.
I'm gonna wait too.
Sixers in Brooklyn.
I'm gonna wait too.
NBA Finals, Eastern Conference Finals.
Sixers in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn and Southern.
Brooklyn. You count Milwaukee out. Nobody believes in Giannis no more.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's just.